All right, welcome into a very special episode of Bogeys and Blue Crabs. Once again, I am your host, Max Salzman, and today we have a very special guest, a good friend of the pod, and actually one of my good friends and neighbors, Mr. Josh Hafkin. Thank you for joining us today, Josh. Thanks for coming on the pod. Flip that switch up for me. Let's try that one more time.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
All right. Sorry about that. The mic wasn't on. Rookie mistake. But no, I was saying this is so nice. Like, we're neighbors to be able to walk over and do this on a beautiful, whatever day it is, Thursday.
Yeah.
And we got the door open right now, and we're awesome. Here to talk about a little golf. And
yeah,
it's how I've kind of gotten to know you, and
exactly.
And it's a joy to talk about.
So, for the listeners, Josh has a really cool, interesting golf book coming out. It's called Where the Fairway Ends, and it's a very interesting concept. So, Josh, I'd like to hear a little bit more about how you kind of came up with this idea. So it's all about your golf trip through Nova Scotia with your dog, Winny.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, it was a really cool trip that I got to go on. And then writing about it kind of was this thing that was independent. A couple months later, I got home and just was looking for a skill to kind of get better at, and started taking some writing lessons, and they would give us different prompts, and each week you'd turn in an assignment, and it was just kind of like one of those, self-betterment things that you start at the beginning of the year. And
cool.
And so I started doing some like writing and some poetry, and it was like it was a good healthy like outlet for a little bit. And it just got me going on writing about this trip, and kind of, I would write about each day of the trip, and it kind of gave me the structure. I've never written anything before, so writing something was foreign to me, but the trip kind of gave me the structure of like, oh, you write about this day, and then you write about this day, and then you write about this golf round, and like that felt much more natural for me.
Yeah. And so were you going out and like playing a new golf course kind of every day when you were out kind of building the content of this book? Were you traveling around playing 9-hole courses? Was it fancy country clubs? Like,
yeah.
What was the kind of range of the course were you playing? Was it just kind of something new every day? Because, for us in the area, and what a lot of our listeners are used to is, they play a wide variety of different courses, a lot of public courses,
Yeah. Yeah.
Is the golf culture out there similar to that?
Yeah. They have everything. Like I played, this course where you toss $10 in a jar and walk on, and you play 9 holes.
Oh, dude,
and,
hold on.
Those ones are
Okay,
yeah.
so like no attendant, nothing.
No attendant. There was a shack, and it was it was pretty well kept, but like Winny and I were the only people there. She got to like run free, and I just played like this amazing round in the middle of Nova Scotia at this place called Red Hill.
Okay.
And then there was also like Cabot. I played the #1 course in Canada, Cabot Cliffs, which is a top in the world.
And do they let dogs out on that course?
So interestingly enough, they do. I did not bring
way.
Winny. I did not bring Winny.
That's insane.
Part of it was very interesting because, what courses would let you bring your dog was usually the ones that kind of like, and like, I don't want to say the bottom or whatever, but you know what I mean? Like the more down home courses will let you bring your dogs. Then there's like the middle courses that are trying to like be more. Those guys won't let you bring your dogs. Those are like the ones that are like they're trying to aspire.
Interesting.
But then there's the high level where they're like, dude, you're paying $500 for a round. Like, bring your dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you do whatever you want.
That's insane. So like for people like to kind of compare that to golf courses around here, could you imagine like Congressional or Avenel just being like, hey, bring your dog.
You should.
If you're a member, bring your dog.
I bet some people do and can. I bet some select members. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Maybe you're friends with the greenkeeper.
We'd have to look into it. Well, I definitely know that in Montgomery County, I see some dogs out on the golf courses for sure.
Occasionally, yeah.
A lot of greenkeepers out here have their dogs, but
it's awesome.
That's really cool. That's a really interesting kind of like subculture of the golf culture out there in Canada. Yep. I would not have expected that.
Yeah, it was really cool. And you know, I got there. I played Chester, which was this course on the water, beautiful. As I did my research, everybody was like, "You got to play Chester."
Okay.
It was you know,
I guess we're gonna
picturesque,
have
really
to,
beautiful.
maybe we'll put a link to
Um,
Chester Golf Club down in the link
yeah,
below
definitely.
of this episode. I'll add it to the description if people are interested and want to kind of check out some of these golf courses that we reference. We'll have the links down below for people to check out.
Yeah, definitely. They're stunning. It's funny. One of the dudes from our Wednesday night golf league, this guy Isaac. I don't know if you know him, but he's moving up to Nova Scotia, and Chester is about to become his home club.
No
So he and I
kidding.
had this like weird bonding moment over this very specific thing at this other
That's really
very
cool.
specific place in Sligo Creek, Maryland.
What
Yeah.
a small world. I
Yeah,
mean, like
yeah.
40 guys in a separate golf league,
So
and
weird.
2 of you guys know of this golf course, and one of which is going to become his home course. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
small world.
Yeah.
Super
But
cool.
that's what's so cool about travel, I think, in general. And you know, golf is so cool. Like, you know, every golf course is different. Probably one of the highlights of the trip was kind of a course that kind of sat, I would say, more in the middle, like wasn't necessarily Cabot, wasn't the backyard course, but it was called Cape Breton Highland Links,
Okay.
and it was cut through National Park, commissioned by the government,
What a stunner.
on a beautiful piece of land in like northern part of Nova Scotia. And to me, it was like this really beautiful harmony of like, you know, nature, golf, you know, having it be kind of like a little beat up and like a little rustic while also still being very nice. Like versus like Cabot where it's like everything's like immaculate everywhere you look.
Yeah,
And
not a
just
blade
like
of grass out of
100%.
order.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
this was a little bit more rough around the edges, like, Muni-ish in a
That it
national
can have
park.
beauty in its own light, though.
It just was in this beautiful place, and I had such an amazing round. Winny rode all 18 with me in the cart.
Okay. Nice.
And just navigating that with her was kind of interesting.
So talk about some of the holes that you played on that golf course. So like what
Oh,
exactly, like what for our listeners like really stood out about it? Was it
Sure.
just, I know you said like the backdrop of everything, but it was like the layout just really playable. You know, did you feel like the course had some tough challenges for you guys to deal with? So what kind of stood out the most?
Yeah, great question. It had different elements. It had, you know, the woodlands, it had a little links,
Oh, that's
you know,
awesome.
overlooking the ocean at some points.
Mhm.
You know, wind that you have to factor, like some holes that are definitely target practice, others that like give you a little bit more leeway. It was just like beautifully cut into nature. And it was
And that's
a
something,
firm but fair
yeah.
kind of course. Like that's, you know, it was
Sure.
like
If you're gonna,
challenging. If you're playing from the backs,
exactly.
pretty tough. And it was just really, it was so special and like green. I remember at one point,
No kidding.
maybe about maybe the seventh, eighth, ninth hole, you're like cut through the forest and you're high, you're elevated, and you just see green trees that just go forever, and then it drops and it's more green, and then you keep on going and it's more green, and it's just this like, you know, kind of emerald, you know, thing, and you know, beautiful, you know, sun kind of setting, and it was just this really beautiful kind of combination of nature and golf, and like this thing kind of cut through nature, and sometimes it can look ugly, you know, sometimes it can look unnatural.
Mhm.
This felt like it was, you know, paying homage in like making it look more beautiful.
I feel like a lot of golf courses, especially some of the more modern adjustments that have been made recently, you're kind of losing that natural beauty of the golf courses.
Yeah.
A lot of trees are getting cut. You know, people are trying to extend golf courses, you know, and just make them as long as possible, and really just, you know, kind of clearing as much land as they can with these wide fairways. I love going out and playing these courses that really make challenges with different terrains and curves and nice woodland areas. I love that. So
Yeah.
one more time
Yeah.
for the listeners, what was the name of this golf course?
That was Cape Breton Highland Links. Definitely look it up. A lot of history in these courses too. It's just a beautiful area, and then they happen to build a golf course, and they did it well.
I mean, that
know?
just says it all right there.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I know you earlier referenced that like you started writing kind of like each day
Sure.
for this book. And once again, book is coming out November 15th.
Yup.
So right around the corner.
Panic.
You got to be pretty excited.
There's still a lot of editing
but
that's being done.
Where the Fairway Ends.
Yes.
And you can
Yeah.
get it on all of your book platforms, or what are we looking
You
at?
can get it on Kindle for like the ebook, and then you'll be able to get on paperback on Amazon.
Love it.
We're doing it. It's easy. This is the first thing I've done. For me, this is just, you know, my hope is that it leads to more. You
Right.
know, like we've been talking about this other trip that, you know,
Right.
I'm kind of planning, and some of these other things. And I what I really loved was going on the trip, writing about it, being able to tell a story that like my kid will be able to read one day and know what I was thinking and feeling, and
That's so cool.
you know, things like that. And then, you know, have this physical book to hand him. But also, like, you know, I'm not looking to win any awards. Like, that's
Sure.
not the goal. It's just like to be able to say I did it, and then, you know, hopefully be able to do it again. And, you know, maybe somebody will throw some money at us
There you go.
to like, you know, make it the next trip a little bit more,
And that would be super fun.
a little bit more doable.
So diving back into it, like, was there ever a point on your trip that you realized, like, hey, like, this could actually be a pretty cool book? You know, did that thought ever kind of cross your mind, or were you just there in the moment enjoying each day?
So it was interesting. Like I thought about how I might capture it.
Yeah.
I have a drone. I've done photography.
Oh, I'd love to see some of that footage too.
It's yeah, I have some really cool stuff. You know, unfortunately on my phone, I ended up not backing up my phone for like 8 months, and then lost my phone in the water, and so I lost like a majority of the photos from this trip. I have some that I posted on Instagram that I was able to save, but like I couldn't back anything up. I lost some like early photos of Asher, like my son. Like it
Killer.
was just like, it was so, and like one, it made me really want to like print stuff out more, because
Yeah.
like now the cloud has all of my stuff, and if, you know, for some reason I can't access it, or somebody just like deletes the cloud, that's like my whole life.
Mhm. You want to make sure you have some physical copies, huh?
Yeah,
No kidding.
Um,
In this digital world.
but no, it was the trip was. Remind me the question. Sorry, we were talking about.
Yeah, so I was talking
Yeah.
about, like, was there ever a moment where you were like, holy crap, like, this could be a really cool book?
Yeah. No, I just kind of was doing it. Like I was trying to figure out that question, like how I could do it. Like, am I filming something?
Right.
But I didn't have an avenue. I didn't have a thought. I was just kind of there. And I was just kind of focused on golf. And really the big thing I had to balance was being on a road trip and playing good golf.
Yep.
And those two things are kind of opposite.
No kidding.
If you're on a road trip, you're sitting, you're you know, you're kind of scrambling. Like I was sleeping in my car some nights, so I'm not, you know, necessarily
Not
sleeping
getting
in
the
my
best
bed.
sleep.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm eating out, you
Yeah.
know, or sometimes weird stuff that I might eat, you know, because I'm
Sure.
there. You know, I got to golf courses and would be like, all right, well, I'm playing, and would just like show up with no warm up. And so, you know, part of this trip was learning how to navigate being on a road trip, which is wonderful when you don't have to rush to your tee time, or, you know, do certain things like that, or, you know, drive 4 hours in a day, play golf, and then know you have another 2.5 hours afterwards. Like, I did the best I could to kind of like schedule things out, but kind of you don't realize it in the moment. And then you're like, oh, whatever, 2 hours, you know, after
Right.
this golf round. But like, you know, I had this one day that just like really made me like, I played golf horribly. I didn't enjoy the road trip. I was rushing to get from each place to each place. I was doing too much from like whatever. You know, I'd slept in my car the night before. And so it really made me reevaluate things. And like that was kind of like, all right, how do I how do I do this where I can also play my best golf? So like I skipped a night here, got somewhere early so that I could get a good night's rest, get to the golf course, warm up, and then I'm traveling that night to the next place. So like I was able to do that a little bit.
It's really interesting how like each aspect plays into the next one.
Totally.
Like, oh, you're pissed off from driving.
Oh.
Now you're gonna go and play golf. Like, no way.
Yep.
Not a chance.
Well,
oh yeah, this ball's going down the fairway. I bet.
Yep.
I bet you $1 million it's not.
Dude, nope. It my body was angry at me for driving for like 2 straight days.
Right.
I stopped and got this like burger that I'd eyed on Instagram that was like it was like special. It was really
Dude,
special.
that's how you do it.
But then like then got in the car, like drove 4 hours, ate a big cheeseburger, drove like 2 more hours, tried to play golf, had my dog with me.
Doesn't sound like a great combo
No,
there,
and
bud.
it was just like a horror. Like I played horribly. It really, and I was like, that was one of the courses I was like, I'm here to play, and I was just like, what am I doing, dude?
Right.
Like it was really, that was kind of my lowest point on the trip because I felt like I'd wasted this opportunity to play golf at this place,
and it was one that you had been very excited to play.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes when I've been on golf trips, it's the unexpected rounds that I end up enjoying the most.
Totally.
So, like on some of the trips that I've been on, this is years back when I was driving around kind of visiting colleges and schools and stuff like that. But we were driving around, my dad and I, just through like the hills of Pennsylvania, and we just like stumbled upon a course like here and there. Cool. And we play those courses, and it's always enjoyable. I feel like every round of golf is enjoyable. And now that I've, had my own kid and golf has become more infrequent, I feel like I'm really going to enjoy every round when I get back out there.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at that time,
those courses are special, man.
It does. There's something about it.
As you go out. Well,
absolutely. So were there any courses
special.
like that where you were driving and you like just stumbled upon a course and you're like, oh, let's try it?
I would pop into different places and kind of scope some out. I just wanted to scope. I like hit a couple ranges at places and just kind of kept on going just to like, if I knew I was playing golf later in the afternoon, I'd maybe hit a range in the morning. But it was interesting. The place in the middle, that backyard course, Red Hill, that was like the place where I kind of found myself again. I found my rhythm. I slowed down. Golf is so much about rhythm, and I think
it's
that
all
like
rhythm.
when you're driving, there's like this go, and I think that is, you need to kind of like get out of the car and like put your feet on the ground and like,
no kidding, touch some grass.
Yeah, touch some grass. Like get in tune with this other rhythm. That then you can get into that
sure.
groove, but it's
was there a lot of riding in carts as well, or was it a lot of walking of the courses?
It was very much Scotlandy in the sense that I walked most places.
I mean, I feel like you need to.
Yeah.
Especially
Highland
out there,
Link
like Highland Link style.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I've seen pictures of Nova Scotian golf courses.
Yeah.
But to me, you don't get the same experience riding in the cart. You get that sense of go, go, go.
Yeah.
And when you do walk, and if you're allowed to bring your dog out there, I feel like that's even more of a plus on the experience side.
100%. And like the way we did it is we would always, generally Winnie would like start off on leash. We'd do the first hole together and then I'd let her off, and she was great. And to be able to like watch her have such a blast, like, and then what was funny was like, just like a kid, kind of like they get over it. They're like, I'm over it.
No kidding. No kidding. Really? She had like a golf limit where she was like, nah, no more.
Yes. And it was funny too, because she would do things like, she knows not to get in the way of my shot. She knows not to go chase after the ball. She knows these things, but then she'll specifically kind of like get in the way. She knows, and she's specifically getting in the way.
Oh, that's funny.
I'll hit at one point I hit a wedge, maybe 80, 90 yards out to like 6 feet, and she just like tears after it. brings the ball back to me, drops it in my feet with a big smile on her face.
Oh.
And I was
Well,
like,
did you have the ball divot?
No, you're
Did you
not
have the
supposed
divot?
to do that. I think I did. I think I
There
was
you
able
go.
to
You
kind
can
of
go
go
put
back.
it right back. You can put it there.
But it was one of those things
That's
that like
funny, though.
she knew she wasn't supposed to do that.
Oh, that's
But she also knows that like fetch is like a thing. So
Right.
she's like, oh, I was just confused, Dad.
yeah.
And I was
you
like,
can't be mad at
oh,
me.
yeah, right. I don't believe that one bit. But yeah, so she'd get mischievous in those kind of like fun little ways, but she was great on the course. She listens. She, stayed out of your way. She, didn't chase after
So
balls.
cool. And you did you like train her with all of this stuff, or was it just kind of practice?
Yeah, I mean, we go on walks every day. We see you guys.
Of course.
I walk with her off leash every day, and so she wants to stay close. I think it's more about where to be on the golf course, and
Yeah.
you want to stay off greens and those kinds of things. And I think that like it as long as your dog listens to you, like they're generally fine. The worst thing she did was like kind of lay in a
Sure.
sand trap and
Oh,
messing
yeah.
up. I had to go
What-
rake it, but
Okay, well,
yeah.
you take care of it.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Darn it, Winnie.
It was a warm day.
Hate you enjoying your life
Yeah.
over there, bud.
But what's funny is so smart. Like she would just like kind of run ahead and run from like shady spot to shady spot
No.
and like wait for me to hit.
That's funny.
And then she'd run up to the next shady spot and sit down. Because after a while, she was like, golf's like a long sport. Like, just like a kid or anybody, like, you're really excited at the beginning. And then you're like, oh, we got like 4 hours of this.
Oh, right.
So like, she was all excited, bouncing off the walls for a hole or two. And then she's just kind of happily following along. And then she's like, all right, now I'm like flopping down in the grass every time I can.
All right, what are we doing?
Yeah,
This was fun for 25 minutes.
Yeah. But, I think the main thing about it, it's just like having, playing with your kid. You come prepared. You make sure that they've got like water, or if it's cold, you have a sweater, like whatever you need to do to make sure that somebody's comfortable. And then you got to be ready to be done. Like around the 8th hole, the first place we played Belgrade Lakes, Maine on the way up to Nova Scotia, which actually they promote themselves as dog friendly, which is kind of cool.
I mean, again, I just can't get over this like dog golf culture.
Dude, St. Andrews is
I mean, I've seen
a
it.
dog park.
Yeah.
The largest dog park in the world on Sundays. How cool is that?
It's amazing.
It's very cool. But yeah, so they played and around like the 8th hole when he started to like kind of give me eyes and it's just one of those things that like you're with somebody long enough, when they're over it.
Yeah.
And so I like, pretty much walked off after maybe hit the tee shot on 8, picked up, and then we headed to the lot.
And there's really nothing wrong with that.
No.
You call it a day.
Yep.
You're happy with the experience.
100%.
And it's always about making sure they enjoy the
Yeah,
experience.
it's about doing it together.
Right.
If you play golf with your dog, you can't be concerned with your score
Mhm.
because half your brain is focused on like what's going on over here.
So interesting.
But it's also a really wonderful experience to just go out, try to hit golf shots, and do it with your dog. And I think that's the way to think about it. You're not like taking your dog on a golf round with you where like you are in charge and like you're trying to score. It's like you and your dog are doing this thing, and like it may include you hitting tee shots. It may include you just putting sometimes. You may get a string of holes where you get to do it, or you may have to walk off early.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, this book, again, I'm very excited for it to come out. Where the Fairway Ends, coming out November 15th.
Yep. All my
on
tips
Amazon,
for golfing with your dog.
Available on Kindle. It's so interesting. So when you were writing all of this, was it kind of right off the bat, like Winnie is going to be part of this book, and like I'm going to make her also a focal point of this book and a main character of this book? Was that
No, that evolved. Like that.
So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, at first it was just kind of talking about what I was doing. It was not like a novel, not like a story. And then as I went through it more, like Winnie started kind of like talking back. And so like she speaks in this book. So she's talking to me, or us. And as all of our animals and pets do, and
Sure.
and it's very common. And I think that like Winny has this nice little sarcasm that I think fits her personality well.
Fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to reading this.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. It's going to be fun, and hopefully it leads to something else. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the things that I want to do with you is hopefully this potentially, this or even podcasting and
Sure.
this kind of stuff that we're practicing here, like can lead to another adventure and more content, and hopefully.
Yeah. So what do you got going on outside of this book right now? You're playing golf? Have you been playing golf in the area recently?
I hit up Sligo last Tuesday.
Okay. Shout out Sligo Creek Golf Course.
I love it. It's 5 minutes away from my home. It's 9 holes. I like it. Is a dream to be able to get out there. Closes November 30th.
Bummer.
Is what I hear.
We're like under a month, huh?
Yeah. But I might try to get out a couple times. I played. My brother-in-law is a member of the club at South River down near Annapolis.
I don't know that one.
It's a really nice course. Played 18 out there. But it was fun. We just had a nice little, played different games, and
nice.
It was a beautiful day.
Yeah. Are you still got any swing thoughts going on?
Yeah, too many.
Perfect. It's a maze up there.
Yeah. No, I'm
a nice Rubik's Cube.
I think what the thing for me that is most frustrating right now is that like sometimes I can set my mind and it's like, this is the shot I'm trying to hit, and I can hit it. And then other times I can not do that. And like, it just feels like I'm like, I have the capability to hit this, brilliant draw that like curls around a blah, blah, blah. But I don't always do that.
You love playing boring golf, don't you?
I do.
Like just like fairways and greens.
Well, what's fun
nice and
is
boring.
it's kind of like I've been playing golf for a while, but I'm new in terms of being able to understand enough to shape shots.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to understand it, and so now I want to try to do it. And so like there's all these like other things to think about, and like,
oh, you're an artist now.
Look, I'm in no way, but I've been hitting some beautiful draws.
I love it.
I really, it was, it's a cool thing to be able to, whatever the shot shape is, set out an intention and execute. That's all. Still,
and it feels
new
great
and enjoyable to me.
I love it.
In some of these things, yeah.
Well, Josh, thanks so much for the time, and thank you so much for coming on the podcast again. Listeners, check out the book Where the Fairway Ends, coming out November 15th, available on Kindle and also on Amazon for paperback. Josh, this was awesome.
Dude, thank you so much. Yeah, check it out at weirdgolf.com. That's got the first 3 chapters of the book, pre-order, all that stuff, socials, and dude, thank you so much. Thank you for the platform. Thanks for the great questions, and
yeah, of course.
Looking forward to what's next.
And if you guys have any questions for Josh, leave them down in the description, or in the comments below. I'll send those over to Josh, and he can fire them back to me so we can get some good responses. And I'll also have links for all the golf courses that Josh played up in Nova Scotia. If you guys have any interest in going up and playing them yourself, I'll have those in the description below. Again, thanks again for the time, Josh. And for all of you listening out there, check us out again at BNBC Golf on Instagram for more information, and we will check you next time. Thanks again.
Boop, boop.